Back to Comic Book Wednesdays, a weekly series where we discuss comic books. We're your hosts. I'm Ian.
I'm out.
And I'm Shane.
All right, and we're back with some
What
more
up?
Frank Miller Daredevil, which is a little, I think, on topic or on point this week since Marvel is starting up their Daredevil Born Again run. And I think if I remember correctly, we're building up to Born Again. That's like the end of Frank Miller's run is the special Born Again.
Oh, that's
Uh,
cool.
so we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
Sweet.
So how are we feeling with? So we got like a conclusion of a storyline here with like some Kingpin stuff, and then we got another story where we saw a character by the name of Gladiator, who Matt is like representing, and like he was going through some shit. As far as like being accused of certain crimes when he was innocent. Um, how do we feel about these books so far? I'm really enjoying them personally.
I'm really liking them. They are jam-packed with like little references and like here and there. Like
Mm-hmm.
we've talked before about like comic book language in like these years being like phrases that we just don't use. But
Yeah.
there's also like little tidbits here and there that like really are an echo to the time.
Uh,
And like I found a few of those that really made me happy.
oh, I completely agree with you on that. There is so much of the lingo shit going on, or like just like tidbits of the '80s.
hmm
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but
Big old personal one for me was the first page of the that first issue where Matt's in the back of a garbage truck and he's just like listening to the radio. He's like, "Yeah, it's the Blues Brothers," and I was like, "Oh hell yeah, I love the Blues Brothers."
that's a cool reference.
I knew
Yeah.
you were gonna like that. I was like, as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, no, Shane's not.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, like, it's kind of cool seeing like the characters that I'm seeing on screen, watching the Daredevil TV show like pop up on the book. I mean, you
hmm
got you know, Foggy, you got um, Kingpin. I haven't seen any Karen Page, so I wonder like how often she's actually in Daredevil comics. But
That is a good question. Because didn't you say, like, if I remember from the last time that we recorded and talked about this, that Frank like always makes like the female characters very similar,
yeah, I mean they're very like shallow. There's not a lot of depth to them. Sometimes
two-dimensional.
they're very two dimensional. That's a good way to put it. Um,
Okay.
so I'd be curious to see what's going on there as far as like Karen Page is related. But I mean, this book's pretty cool. I mean, we got a cool storyline where like Kingpin's trying to rescue Vanessa.
hmm
Oh man, dude, the scene where she blows up and he's like ripping through the fucking like uh iron or steel to like fucking try
That
to
was
save her.
intense.
Yeah, it was fucking
Yeah.
great. Like, dude, one thing I really like about Frank, and let me know what you guys think about this, but the way he expresses the emotions of the characters, I always feel like it's very strong. Like he puts across the emotions really well in his art.
As far
Yeah,
as you talking the art or the what the characters are saying.
I mean, he's using both to express the emotions, of course, but I think the art itself to show character, like facial expressions or body language, I think he
Yeah,
does a really good
hmm
job.
I agree.
yeah. No, I really felt for Kingpin in that scene, and like especially when like you see him crying, like you see him doing that stuff. And it's one of those moments where I was like, you may be an evil prick, but like I wouldn't wish that shit on anybody.
Right.
That's
No, that shit
and then
sucks.
like towards the to jump ahead a little bit if that's okay.
Yeah.
There was a panel where Kingpin is just like, "Yeah, give us 1 second." And then he like goes and like breaks the dude's hand and he goes, "You shouldn't have killed my wife or my
Oh my
fiance or
god.
whatever he says."
He
I
like
was like,
slams
"Yeah,
his
it's
head.
justified."
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my, yeah. That's another thing. It's very violent. Like this is probably the most violent that I've seen a comic book that's not like a like M-rated book. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He really pushes the limit of what he's putting on his pages. Like, to jump ahead a little again, the guy who's framing Gladiator for the crimes, he goes to the social worker for Gladiator, and he like breaks into her house, and essentially like he's not saying it, but he's like he's gonna rape her. Like that's
Yeah.
what that story is
Yeah.
getting across. They can't use that language in Marvel Comics, I don't think, but that's what he's doing.
No,
He's
you're
like,
absolutely right. That was implied.
yeah, and that shit was dark and violent, and I was like, holy shit. And she's got a knife in her hand, and the scene with her face, it's like one panel, she's terrified, and she has a knife in her hand. I was like, that's what I was like, this is like, he's really getting that across as far as like emotion from the page. And I don't think there's any like language in that panel either. It's all art expressing that.
Yeah.
I have seen that done a similar, like, I think we were reading Court of Owls, I believe, and it reminded me a little bit of like that kind of similar thing because I really, really enjoy when the art speaks for the emotion.
Yeah, I mean, Quarter Owl's like the one that picks for me is that Batman's like kind of like scurrying through the labyrinth of the court, and
Yeah.
he's like half owl, half Batman at this point, and he's like digging through the marble trying to get out, and he's just really insane.
Yeah.
Oh, such a
Exactly. Like that was one of the ones that I thought of too, of like when you get to see the brokenness of a character or like high emotional intensity, things that normally can't be conveyed.
right. No, dude, and
Well, I mean, you could even go back a couple issues, like the scene where he throws Bullseye off the fucking roof of that building, and just like the tears coming out down his face, and the rage that he has with Bullseye before he throws him off.
are we referring to the TV show at this point? Spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Daredevil.
No,
Born Again.
no, in the book.
Did it happen in the book? Am I going
Yeah,
crazy?
I think so.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah, that happened in the book.
Yeah, no, he threw him through the fucking window, right? Is that what you mean? No, because I know he threw Bullseye through a window. I might be
He
cracking
threw him
out
off a
now.
roof. Threw him off a roof. I may be mixing things, and if I am, I apologize. I've had a lot of Daredevil this week.
Oh no, it's definitely a lot of Daredevil. We're plowing through some Daredevil. He fights him, but he fights him. At least in the issues we read this week, he fights him underground, and Kingpin shows up, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Oh
you know what?
yeah."
I apologize. I think I am mixing stuff up.
Kingpin's like, "Oh, you go ahead, go turn. Here's the files you wanted, Daredevil. Go ahead, turn
Yeah.
all these guys in, and I'm just gonna replace them with worse fuckers. Like, ha ha ha. And that's when Matt kind of takes his Bullseye's body, and he's just like, "You win this time, Kingpin, you son of a bitch."
Yeah.
But yeah,
So I actually have a funny thing to add there, if that's cool.
yeah, no, of course.
It
Yeah.
really reminded me like that scene with Daredevil and Kingpin, and like it was right when he was pretending to be somebody else, and he's just like, and Kingpin like showed him into the vault, and like he threw his billy club at it, and he's just like, "You hit me with this," and he goes, "No, it's not that. It's a club," like trying to correct him.
Yeah, yeah.
mid-fight.
It's some goofy shit. I like that.
There is a good little bit of like a goofery. That's a term I'm gonna coin for this. Speaking of the art, though, I did notice something interesting that like I have to wonder if this because of like printing or panel design. I'm not quite sure why they did this, but it makes me curious. When Matt first sees all of the like, vagabonds or the like whatever the term is that he used, the people begging for food,
Oh yeah.
his suit is like purple.
It's dark, right? It's almost black.
Yeah.
I think it's trying to convey shadow. It's
Okay.
weird though, right? Like I picked
Yeah.
up on that too. I was like, wait, when did he change?
And like speaking of them, like was really to jump ahead to the end because I know we're just kind of popcorning at this point.
Yeah.
The with Vanessa when we find out that she's actually like alive, like she didn't die, and now she's like running around being like money for food, and I'm like, did what? Like me as a writer, I'm like, what caused her that quickly to get into that mentality? Like,
Brain damage.
yeah, that like I was kind of leaning towards like, was it brain damage? Is there something else going on down there? Because like, getting out of something like that, she, normal circumstances, she'd be like, nah, I gotta get to my husband. I gotta like, figure out what's going on. But like,
Oh,
yeah, I'm curious to see what else is going on there.
she's completely zonked. Like, oh,
Oof.
yeah, she's completely fucking zonked. I don't know, man. Like, I hope we get more of that. I have a feeling it's a storyline that he's gonna pick up again. Because
Hmm.
we've kind of shifted gears, like with this new Gladiator story, and I don't know about you guys, but when we shifted gears, I kind of got this like weird feeling that I was missing shit.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not the only one then.
Yeah, no, it was weird. It's definitely not as cohesive as like a modern comic would be when like you continuing story. It's almost like, all right, well, like just imagine that, like it's been like a week or so later, and like you just missed an episode, or like it's an episode that just kind
Yeah.
of picks up in the like the um this a slice of life of Daredevil type of thing.
Hmm. No, that I was reading it last night and laying in bed and kind of going over it and like taking notes and stuff. And as it got to that issue, I was like, am I just tired?" Like I had
Yeah,
that moment where I was like, I'm hoping somebody else brings this up.
I've been there. No, definitely. No, I was reading it today, and I was like, okay, this is I'm missing something here. And then you're referencing like books that like he didn't even like write. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh
So
my god, got knocked off the edge. Yeah, there was some fucketry there. That's the best way I can put that.
yeah.
What about you? Did you catch any of that, or was it like, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it just kind of felt like they were switching gears, but I mean,
Yeah, not a big deal. Kind of like you get it.
yeah, I just
Uh,
kind of read past it and wasn't really concerned by it because I mean, you see that in like a lot of different comics, I feel like, where it's just like, okay, we need some filler stuff. Here it is. You know what I mean? Like,
I got that.
Yeah. No, okay, that makes sense.
No, absolutely. It's definitely like you got some filler, John. Like this will probably be like a one-off or a two-off type thing, and then he'll get back into like the more like Kingpin stuff or Bullseye stuff.
yeah,
Hmm.
Um, it was interesting to see like his like dynamic with Foggy right now, and I kind of want to know like what caused them not to talk. So I hope
Oh
that gets
yeah, good
explored.
point.
yeah. I hope they do bring that up because, like, even as I guess Foggy's wife or girlfriend was like, I don't know what's going on with him. He's being a dick.
Yeah, and then like Foggy shows up when he's like, "Why are you talking to my woman, Matt? Get the fuck out my house." So he was definitely not a fan of Matt talking to his woman, which I get.
Yeah.
Matt always gets all the bitches.
But no, that is really interesting because like I I wonder what happened there. Like that's I don't know. Either way, I could say like I'm intrigued. These issues have been really good. Like I've been enjoying reading Daredevil,
Hmm.
and I'm not going to mention the show until we're ready to talk about it, of course. But like I've seen the first two episodes. I'm gonna watch the next episode tonight, and then when we talk next week, like I'll watch that one on Tuesday because I biffed it this week. But
I did as well,
the
so
the double
it's
up
all
of
good.
Daredevil has been really, really nice in my opinion to like read a little, excuse me, read a little bit, then watch the show. Like I find that really, really nice when it matches like that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
agree. Um, and if you want, we can briefly talk about episodes 1 and 2. Spoilers for anybody who hasn't watched it yet, of course. Um,
Yeah, I'm
but
down.
really, really, really fantastic show so far. Um,
So good.
I'm glad they did the episode because, like, the way
Oh, I've been pissed.
that first episode goes, like, you definitely need, you need it the second episode. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I don't know. You guys agree? Like that first 20 minutes of the episode, like jaw on the
Dude,
fucking
that was
floor,
Oh,
intense. That was so intense.
dude.
my jaw dropped and never came back up.
Yeah. So, um, we'll still be a little like less spoiled free. So, like, for those who didn't watch, there's a character that dies in the first 20 minutes of the show. Not gonna say who, but all I'm gonna say is like
It hurt.
it. It's not good, and the during the during the fight, they stop Matt for a second. He gets moments of like rest where he listens and he can hear this character dying, gasping for breath, listening to their heartbeat. And I think like cutting that in between the fight just adds so much to it. The
Yeah.
intensity there, just like hearing the heartbeat and like this person essentially choking on their own blood. It was like fucking awful.
It was to keep it kind of spoiler free. It was the moment where Matt is almost like using that heartbeat that he's listening to as like a I am fighting for this person just like they are fighting to stay alive. And then
Yeah.
when that heartbeat fails, it's now I'm fighting for revenge. And you can see that tonal shift
The shift.
in that fight.
Uh
Yeah.
huh. And this is the scene Al was referencing where Matt
Which I apologize.
Matt throws Bullseye off the fucking roof. um,
It was just such a fucking crazy scene.
it was.
Yeah, like
I mean, I was
oh
like,
man.
holy shit.
Yeah. 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 That's what I kind of sat there and I was like, that just fucking happened. Like I couldn't fucking believe it.
And we were just talking like the last time we did comics about how like Matt is this character of he doesn't believe in killing, he's Catholic, he's got a moral compass,
Uh huh.
and then this individual, passes away and that just goes out the window for a couple
Snap.
seconds.
Yes.
He
And
snaps.
I won't spoil the third episode for you guys. But in the second episode, the end of that one ends pretty violently. Really fucking violently, the second episode. Like, and Matt gets
Ooh.
pushed to his limit again in the end of the second episode. Um, and I was like,
Okay,
that
okay.
was fucking nuts. The third episode's a little bit more tame. There is some like shocking like I'm still shocked every time I see like a shit ton of blood in any of these shows because it's just not how Marvel typically does it. Um, but
I after watching the first two episodes, it was really like I was making comments to myself, like, I sometimes do when I'm watching something real good.
Yeah.
And my wife was just like, "Is it good?" And I was like, "Disney's not fucking around." Then I
No,
was like, "They gave Kevin Feige a blank check and said, have at it."
Yeah,
I'm
and he
glad.
did.
I'm glad they got over the rated R stigma. The rated R stigma that they had for the longest time. Like these comics sometimes are dark, they're violent, and that's okay.
Yeah,
That's fine. You
not
know,
everything has to be like childish or family friendly, because that's not what we're reading.
leave it up to the parent to decide if they want their kid to watch it or not.
Yeah.
Don't limit yourself. You got to leave it up to the consumer. We are smart enough as consumers to choose what we want to watch and what we don't want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to be force-fed jokes.
Yes, you do.
I
Oh,
can tell
okay.
you're
Force feeding you jokes right now.
I was gonna say I can tell that from what you told me about watching the Marvel movie, the what was Captain America something something whatever it's called.
New World Order or Brave New World or something like that.
Yeah, like not to get into spoilers, but I know that you had told me that there was a part that was supposed to be taken very appropriately that was ruined with just a lame thing,
Yep.
a
Yeah,
lame joke.
there is a scene that is pretty fucking serious. Probably could have been one of the more serious moments of the movie. Could have been well written, and they're like cheesy joke, insert it here, and I was
That
just like,
sucks.
ugh, ruined it for me. Um, I have to say, if we're gonna talk about that real fast, that movie, like, as now that I'm away from it for a minute, it is more middle of the road than it is bad for me at this point.
Okay.
The script is pretty bad. That like you won't save, but I think Mackie and Ford do a good enough job where they kind of raise the movie a little bit in my standards because I do think Harrison Ford acts really well in that movie. Like he did not just phone it in; he showed up. He's here. So good on him.
That's good because he's probably one of my favorite actors across like all actors. And
Easily.
if he just did that, I'd have a problem.
I
Like
would.
I know he's getting old, but that's your job. Figure it out. you
Oh,
know?
absolutely. You're getting paid millions. Get out there. If you really like Harrison Ford and you're looking for something good with him in it, turn on the show Shrinking. If you have Apple TV, it's on
You know
there.
what? I did want to watch that. That's Jason Siegel too, right?
Yes, Jason Segel's in it.
Yeah,
Harrison Ford. It is phenomenal show. It's
yeah.
got great funny moments. It has great serious moments, and the character writing is fantastic. And Harrison Ford is hilarious in that show. So good, worth the watch.
Let's check it out.
Yep. Now we're a little off topic. I don't know. Daredevil TV show really fucking good. Daredevil comic book really fucking good. And I think that
Hmm.
sums it up for me.
Absolutely. Me too.
Yeah, no, I think I'm good. Like I'm are we doing a round next week? Are we taking a break to play some D&D? What's the vibage?
So I think technically next week would have been 4 weeks of Daredevil. Like
Okay.
we would do. So like we should do next week Daredevil, and then after that play D&D if that's okay with y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sounds
definitely.
good.
Okay, cool. All right. Any final thoughts, guys? Are we good?
I'm good.
No, I am good. I'm looking forward to keep reading it. We have some questions that we definitely need to have answered. But yeah, no, I'm ready.
Excellent. All right. Well, thanks all for watching, and we'll be back next time.
Have a good one,
Have a
y'all.
good night, everybody.
Good night, y'all.